Hey everyone, you are watching Conversations in Pop Culture, and we are back in the saddle once again for another season. I have with me Cosplayer Mutant Glue. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
I'm very excited because obviously I've seen you from Stars, from Silvers, and everything they do over there. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit and a bunch of other cosplays you've done. And, I guess I just reached out and you said yes. And I'm super excited to have you on. And so you've done a bunch of different cosplays. And I think the best place to start is how did you get into cosplay? Because everyone comes in differently.
It's funny you mentioned that. I came into cosplay through a friend. She wanted to go to a convention. She didn't want to go by herself. And she wanted to dress up, have the whole experience. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it with you, no problem. My first full-fledged, pieced together cosplay was Gambit from the X-Men. And it was well received. I had a lot of people asking for pictures, so...
Yeah, so let's actually talk about that because I am a DC guy, but I do like the X-Men and Marvel, and I also like Captain America, and that's as far as everything. My favorite character is a character you've done, and I love Rogue from the X-Men, and it's related. It's related to Gambit, I promise. But what was this like? Really building this cosplay out first and really developing it because they say the first one's the hardest.
Well, I really didn't know where to start because I didn't know the technical term for it, which was gender bent. I didn't know what that term was. So I found a cosplayer. I can't remember who she was. I still have the picture somewhere. But her concept was very simple, very basic, and I'm like, okay, that seems doable. I'll just stick with that. And I just followed her base. So for her, it was like a short jacket. And then she had a pink corset. I used red because I can't stand pink. And then it was a navy blue shirt under it. She had the headband, the hair. She had the staff. That's the only thing I didn't have. And the boots and the knee pads and everything else. I left off the knee. Well, no, I had the knee pads, but they wouldn't stay on. And I painted some shoes that I had, but they started peeling as soon as I got to the con. So it was not a bust, but it was a bust. And I have been since trying to redo that cosplay, and I have not. I've tried. It didn't come out the way I wanted it. So I haven't redone it yet.
Yeah, so let's even go into a little bit of inside baseball with this, and we're going to talk about a bunch of cosplays following that. But obviously this was your first one, and then you've done a bunch of others. But I am curious how you even figure out what you're going to cosplay, what's the inspiration for when you do a cosplay, and all that stuff. Because I find that to be fascinating with cosplayers is that how they're drawn to a character and even what prompts them to want to do that character. And so what is that like for you? In which that is it a calling, or is it more like that character is cool, or do you just, you've seen that character in a comic or a cartoon or an anime, and you're like, man, I want to do that character?
It's a lot of different things. One being fan art, because you will see a lot of people take different interpretations of characters. And I've seen a lot of fan art that I just want to just take and mold from it. Peer pressure is another one. That's how there's a whole story with the whole me favoring Rosario Dawson. So Ahsoka Tano was definitely one of those I didn't want to do, but I ended up doing it anyway, and now I love her. So there's that. Nostalgia, characters that I've loved when I was a kid that I just wanted to portray just because. Characters that people don't cosplay because they forgot about them, like Mirage from The Incredibles. It's a mixture of different things.
Yeah, and then let's even go into further into that, because when you come up with a character that you want to cosplay, how do you even go about planning that out? Because I've spoken to a lot of different cosplayers, and some people go directly into doing it. Obviously, some people sketch it out. Some people, sort of just know what they're doing, and others sort of use references. And so, how does that all work with your planning process when you're developing a cosplay, or even piecing one together, or putting one together? Because I find it to be fascinating how everybody works differently on a cosplay and what they go into, and even where they start.
For me, again, it's a mixture of different things. I will get the main design of the character, and then I will go and look for different versions of said character, and then maybe even pick a different version. And then from there, I go straight to Amazon. I put everything in a wish list, and then I just pick it out. If I get it at a thrift store, it's even better. But if once I'm actually have the funds to do it, I go and just pick out the pieces that I need, put it all together, boom, cosplay. That's how. Trying to think of. I did my take of a villain Princess Tiana. That's how she came to be. Like, I literally just saw fan art, said, "Hey, I need a crown, I need a dress, I need a little fur thing, and I'll be good to go." Put it all on my wish list, got it all, put it on.
Yeah, let's actually talk about this, because now we're going to get into the somewhat controversial stuff of all this,
Oh
and it's a
boy.
little secret that cosplay can be expensive, guys. I know I'm revealing too much, right? A
No,
little too much, right?
no. Well, okay. It can be expensive if you shop everything from Amazon. It can be cheap if you use your closet. If you got stuff in your closet, that's the cheapest way to go. I have a friend who uses nothing. Well, they make some of their stuff, but they just use the stuff out of their closet, and they come up with some amazing cosplays from it. Um, and then the extra expensive part of that is if you make everything, like down from the foam to the lights and everything, that's the expensive part of it.
And so, what is this like for you? Because obviously, I think you do a mixture of a bunch of different things. And I'm pretty sure you do some stuff from your closet. You probably also recycle some cosplays, but also certain things, it's time, or it's just easier to get it from Amazon. Or there's certain cosplays, I think, that you really can't avoid Amazon. And so, what is this like figuring out how to balance all that? Because different materials can be expensive. Also, prices change. Also, sometimes where certain websites might be better off than other websites, where you don't have to get everything off of Amazon. And so, what is that like? Because I think that's one of the biggest challenges in cosplay in a lot of ways, is balancing cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely. I use my closet a lot. I forget that I have certain pieces, and then I'll go back and look at a character design and be like, "Wait a minute, I have that. I can do that. What am I waiting for? Let me go ahead and pump that out." Like, for instance, Cruella de Vil. I had a simple black dress in my closet. I did not realize I forgot I had it. And then I had a fur coat, a white fur coat from another cosplay that I did. Cruella de Vil. I just needed the hair, which I could substitute anything for, just put white streaks in it, and the gloves and the little cigar bit, and I was Cruella de Vil. And it worked. I think the only thing I bought from Amazon was the wig, and that's because it came with the gloves and the little cigarette thing.
Yeah, and then what is even that like, figuring even that out? Because when you buy just a wig from Amazon, but it has all those extra props in there. I mean, it's obviously saving time, and then even going further into that as well. I'm a big proponent that whether you buy a cosplay, make a cosplay, piece of cosplay together, make half of it, it's all cosplay.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's one of the most negative things, and it's happened. I think it's happening a lot less, is that there's been judgment when somebody doesn't make their cosplay and they're just wearing it. And I think that's sort of not what cosplay was supposed to be. And I think it's one of the worst things that's happened in the industry. And I think the fact that it's sort of backed off a little bit is a very healthy thing.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of the bigger, more in the camera, the elitist, I guess you could say, saying, "Oh, well, if you buy your cosplay, you're not a cosplayer. You're not a real cosplayer. That you cheated." No, No, we can still make the cosplay be what it is. It's just cheaper. Let's work. Less stress on us because we don't have to con crunch like y'all do.
It's
And it
also
still
for me.
works.
I mean, I used to cosplay and I bought my cosplay who was tailored to me. And, I loved it. And I'm not interested in spending hours upon hours learning how to sew and a variety of other stuff. And it's not where my skill set is. My skill sets are in a bunch of different areas. It is not in sewing, making, fabric shopping, figuring out how to make it work, and potentially stabbing my fingers 15 times with a needle trying to figure out how to sew. And I would rather spend the $120 and buy my cosplay and have a fun time at a con. And I had a blast. It was great. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. And that's how I feel. So, and I felt just as good as somebody who made their cosplay. In fact, I felt better because it was comfortable.
So there you go. And yeah, stabbing. I I always adjust my cosplay to make it my own a little bit more. And I have stabbed my hands. I've gotten my finger caught in a sewing machine. It's not pleasant. I don't, but the glue burns, the glue gun burns, the snapping of rubber. It's not pleasant. In the end, it's worth it, but it's not pleasant.
I would prefer not to do it. Between you and me and everybody watching, I prefer not to get my finger caught in a sewing machine.
Yeah,
I'll take a hard pass on it, guys.
yeah,
A hard,
it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
but we don't have to talk about it. We don't have to relive the bad things because I do want to talk about actually some of your cosplays. And this is the fun part. And I think I know the one to start with. And I like it because it's fun. And I have pictures, and it's Lady
Yeah.
Blake. We're
That
going
one.
some old school here. We're going some old school. I think this is also some Lady Blade here.
Blade.
So, what's the story behind this one? Because everybody loves Blade. I mean, everybody loves Blade. There's not one person who doesn't love Blade. I'm just saying.
Okay, so for that particular cosplay in general, that's what started like my whole cosplay career journey, whatever you want to call it. So after going to a couple of cons as different characters, the last one I went to before that one was, I think it was Heroes and Villains when it was still a thing. And I was dressed as Storm and I had a friend with me. And we walked by this group of guys who were photographers. At that one, that's it. And they were making kind of snarky remarks, and I could hear them. Of course, I was getting angry because I'm like, no, you're not gonna start this with me. And then the guy comes over, he's like, hey, just ignore my friends. We love your cosplay. You look amazing. And then he walked off. I'm like, okay, cool. One of those guys contacted me later on and said, hey, we're doing a photo walk. I'm like, what is a photo walk? And they're like, oh, we go through different parts of Nashville and we just take pictures of different cosplayers. Like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, just you should come join us. I'm like, all right, cool. So I had already had Blade from when I went to Wizard World in Virginia. So I'm like, let me just take that one. Which was not ideal. You don't really need to be taking a sword and 2 BB pistols into the main part of Nashville. You don't, as a person of color, you don't do that. But I was having fun and I had my cousin with me, so it was fine. It was fine. But through them, I got all those pictures and some. And I've been doing it ever since. Those people are the ones who actually came up with my cosplay name, Mutant Glue. So that Blade started everything.
And then even going further into that, I mean, obviously Blade, Wesley Snipes, everybody loves Blade. It's an iconic movie. It in many ways was the impetus for Marvel in a lot of ways. In a lot of the movies, it's the original. You can make the argument. There's a few others that are also sort of the original back in the day. And then I think they're redoing it. I don't know if they're making, I don't know when that one's coming out. But But obviously, what is this like? Because it's a very popular character, it's a recognizable character, and people like it. And it's kind of fun when you're that character that everybody loves and has good memories with, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I I think with that particular cosplay, I just got a bunch of looks like why? Because we didn't have that many cosplayers that were with us. There was a Spider-Man, there was a Gwen Stacy, there was Luke Cage, but there was not. There was like maybe 5 or 6 of us, and then a whole bunch of photographers. So me walking through downtown Nashville over a bridge dressed as Blade was not normal, I guess you could say. So I didn't really get any comments from that. But when I dressed as Carmen San Diego and I took pictures on the Parthenon, that's a completely different story. I got, hey, I found Carmen. It's Carmen San Diego. We found you. Things like that. It's great when that happens because my face just was hurting from smiling so much. And then, of course, when the people who actually remade Carmen San Diego, the Netflix people, when they see your cosplay and they say, hey, good job, you know you did something right.
So, we could talk about finding Carmen in a little bit. I promise. Don't worry, don't worry. You could stay where you are, and I'll stay where I'm at. And we're not in San Diego. I want to make that crystal clear. So before anybody asks, don't. But I'm sorry. It was too easy, everybody. It was just too easy. It's like giving me candy. It's just too easy.
It happens. It happens.
But I do want to talk and continue with Marvel here because I like Marvel. Marvel's fun. And obviously you did Storm.
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves Storm.
And Storm is fun. I think Halle Berry is a great Storm. I mean, Halle Berry was Storm, right?
Halle Berry was Storm. She's a great Storm. I think they could do better. I'm not saying that she did a bad job. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying if they want to stay true to the comics like they've been trying to do, they can do better. That's all I'm saying.
And so obviously you did that Storm, and then you did a Venomized Storm as well. And that one's trippy. That one kind of freaks me out a little bit, not gonna lie. Like kind of freaky a little bit. And I like
that one. I spent a lot of work on that one.
I'm sorry.
Oh no! Don't be. That was actually a Funko Pop inspiration. I have 2 of those now. A friend of mine got it for me, and I'm like, you know what? That all I need is a Venom suit, and then maybe do a faux hawk instead of a mohawk. Let me try it and see. And that's the cut. That wig was a pain. I made it, and then I almost melted it right after I made it.
And even to talk about the Venomized Storm a little bit more, because I really like Carnage. I like Venom. I am a huge Spider-Man fan. I have very cool Spider-Man books in my collection. I have a Spider-Man 700 that connects to the Doc Ock, signed by Stan Lee and J. Scott Campbell, graded 9.8s. We spent a good amount of money on it. They're worth a lot more now. No, they're not for sale. Before I even start, they're not for sale. My favorite book of all time is Spider-Man 692, where he's holding, it's the 1970s where he's holding Gwen after he killed her in the red. Brilliant book. I have that one too graded. No, it's not for sale again. And then I have some Venom books that are really cool as well that I thoroughly enjoy. So what is this like? Because I feel Venom gets sort of shitted on, but I feel everybody loves Venom and loves Venomized things, and Marvel did a whole line of it. It was great.
Yeah, that I didn't see. That's the thing. I thought that it was just like a Funko Pop exclusive. Hey, let's Venomize all these characters. No, there's a whole comic book series where all of the Marvel characters got Venomized, and I'm like, oh, I haven't found Storms yet, but I'm looking for it. If I find it, I'm gonna get it. I have the one where she turned into Bloodstorm. I have because I cosplayed that, but I don't have the Venomized one.
Yeah, no, because I just think it's great, and I love it, and I think it's just underappreciated, and I think it just also adds. I'm a big comic book guy, obviously, and I love variants. And to me, when somebody has a cosplay and then they modify or they do a different version of that, so they have their base and then they modify it, it becomes almost a variant, and I feel like it adds a layer and it adds. I'm at a loss of words explaining, but I think you know where I'm going with it. Hopefully,
Yeah,
where
no, variant is the right word for it. I feel I have a lot of variants of Storm. I have a lot of variants of Poison Ivy as well. I have a lot of variants of Sailor Mars as well. The characters that I have a lot of variants of are the ones that I love the most. So that should tell you something.
Yeah, and then even staying with all this stuff with Marvel, obviously I mentioned big Rogue fan. I love her. I think she's great. I have a bunch of stuff coming with her, and I love her as a character. Obviously, she's right now really popular. And so, what is this story behind this one too? Because obviously, this is one of the things that I don't think it was planned that she was going to get this popular with you, but she has.
Now, this was a birthday gift actually from one of my followers, one of my loyal followers. I think his name is Doorbender. Wherever on whatever socials he's on, that's the one who actually got that for me as a birthday gift. And then I think we had did a charity stream for something, if I remember correctly. And somebody bid on me to do Rogue, and I'm like, hey, just so happens I have Rogue. Let me just go ahead and pump this out, send them their stuff, and they'll be happy with it. And that's what I did. But I love Rogue. Gambit is my favorite. Well, aside from it's Storm, then Gambit, Wolverine, Rogue, in that order specifically. But Rogue was always on my cosplay list anyway, so I'm glad I just have her now. The only thing I'm missing with that particular cosplay that I'm not ready to show off yet is the shoes, because you gotta have specific shoes for her. Can't find them, so in my size that is.
Yeah, and then I mean, obviously, and what is this like for you? Because these characters are now getting bigger, and obviously the X-Men are now on the table in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously, it's going to be exciting. I mean, look, as Marvel can mess it up. I'm not going to pretend here. Marvel could hit it out of the park. They could mess it up. They could just keep it normal. We don't really know what Marvel's going to do, because it is a crapshoot right now with every Marvel movie that's out there. I hate to say it, but Thor: Love and Thunder was rough. To put it nicely. To put it nicely.
I didn't see that one, but I just saw the recent Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. All I could say, I got invited to an advanced screening of that one. All I can say is just wow. That was my initial reaction. I even did an interview. I was dressed as Black Widow. My initial reaction you saw there was wow. It's still wow, because Kang was the movie. Just change the name and make it Kang, and then just
See, that wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Thor: Love and Thunder was rough. And the problem was that it wasn't a graphics problem. It was just that the story and the core of it was not there. I'm sorry to say it. It didn't work, and it's okay. You have a bad movie. It happens. We move on, right? The failure of that movie was the concept, not the acting. And that's all right. Look, I have plenty of failures in my life. That's all I'm saying. I did see Ant-Man and the Wasp movie and Quantum whatever it's called. I forget its name.
Quantumania.
It was good. I enjoyed it. Was it the best thing that Marvel's put out? No, that's Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's not the point here. Not the point.
Well,
Except
the Eternals was a miss too. I enjoyed it because they got the 4D experience, but it was a miss too. I mean, like I said, I did enjoy it because the smoke in the theater and the wind in your face. That's a good experience to have. But as a whole, fitting into the universe bit, it was a miss, I think.
So that's just how I felt. But I didn't
Yeah.
even see the Eternals. I just had no desire. I had no desire. I didn't understand it. But that's
That
not the
was the
point.
first advanced screening I got invited to, and I couldn't go because they were not going to fly me to New York. So they gave me free passes instead, which I'm not complaining about. But
I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get the concept. I didn't get what they are. But I digress. It just flew over my head is the point. But it happens. It happens. But yeah, no. This right here, I don't know. But that's Black Widow, guys. So I just wanted to show it. I mean,
I love that cosplay. It just comes with very negative feelings. Not anymore, but it used to. I got racially profiled by Nashville PD in that cosplay.
wow.
Yeah. It was for having those very pistols, those BB pistols that they thought were real. It wasn't a great experience, but I learned a lot. That's for sure.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. I've never been racially profiled, but I've been stopped by a cop, and it's not fun.
No, it's not fun when you are trying to leave a park because you accidentally left those guns behind. Somebody called the cops, and then you have a cop car in front of your car, and then you have a cop car behind your buddy's car, and they're not letting you leave until you answer their questions. And they were not very
Professional?
nice about it. Not in the slightest. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, there are only two experiences with cops. There's the good experiences and bad experiences. There's nothing in the middle.
No.
It's fun. It's fun when a cop and you have a good experience. Those are
Yeah.
fun.
Because I have some friends that are in the force. I tell them straight to their face, I am terrified of cops now. Terrified. And they gave me the same spiel. Well, you shouldn't be terrified. We're here to serve and protect. No. One experience ruined it all for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, my bad experience with a police officer didn't ruin it for me. But it definitely changed the way I deal with things. And I don't want to get into it because it's a very personal thing, but it was addressed in a very political way. It's the way.
I got you. We can move on if you'd like. I'm good. Nah, that I just did a shoot in this one actually. I just did a reshoot with two other Spideys. So those pictures will be coming out soon.
Yeah, so what's the deal with this one? This is Cindy Moon, right?
No, this is just my version of Miles Morales.
Oh wow. I definitely thought it was Cindy Moon because I'm like, oh man, you're doing that.
No, this is my version of Miles Morales. No, it's the sunflower in the hair. Because the song "Sunflower" from the soundtrack, I incorporated that one piece into the hair. So yeah,
I didn't even get that. I didn't even pick that up.
Yeah, no, this is just my version of Miles Morales.
Yeah, so let's talk about that because nobody knew who Miles Morales was until into the Spider-Verse. Let's be realistic here, right? I think we can all agree that
I'm gonna be rude with you on that one because I didn't know into the Spider-Verse either. But
I'm even worse than you.
Learned, the more I'm like, oh, he's been in there for a minute. Let me just do some research and then go from there.
I'll tell you, this will make your L feel a lot better, I promise. So I'm a comic collector, right? I didn't know who Miles Morales was, and I had two Ultimate Fallout 4s sitting in my comic book collection, first print runs, and I didn't know who he was.
Wow.
However, your L is on that, and mine is much bigger.
Yeah, I mean, that's saying something, but we don't judge. It's fine. It's cool. It's like now. That's the important part.
Believe me. When I saw the movie, I'm like, wait a second, what's his first appearance? And you're like, oh snap, I have that book. Like you're like, oh shit. Like for those who don't know, it's like a $700, $800 book right now. That was $4 when I bought it. I just want to make that crystal clear for those who don't know. It's a very well sought after book. It's a very heavily wanted book. The first print runs, both of them are really nice copies. And I was actually supposed to get signed by the team down in DC, and then COVID happened.
Yeah. That'll do it. That will do it.
But there you go. So hopefully that makes your L feel much better that you didn't know who he was, because I didn't know, and I had something very valuable in my collection. I still have them. So
and you still have it. That's the funny part.
So that's the fun part right there. And then I do like to break fourth walls on my show sometimes. So I figured we should do it this way.
Yeah, Deadpool. That's a good one. That was a fun shoot. That was a really fun. I bought that cosplay from another cosplayer who was selling it. And I don't know how I managed to fit into it, but I managed to fit into it. And I now have
Deadpool. I love Deadpool.
Deadpool's great. I have a different version that I wear that's a little bit less snug. But that one I did a shoot with Deadpool first, and then I did Zatanna afterwards. No, I did Zatanna first, then Deadpool afterwards. That's what it was.
And then obviously, I mean that's I think you've done a few other in Marvel, and obviously you have a lot of cosplays in Marvel. You have a lot of cosplays in some other stuff as well. And I do want to talk about the other side, which is more my background, which is DC. Mm-hmm. And the best one to start with DC. There's like three that I really want to talk about. Is Poison Ivy.
Of course, Poison. That was baby's first. Oh, that dress. That was the first test run of Poison Ivy.
And then we have this one.
That took me 6 months to make.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about this, because the way I view Poison Ivy is that Poison Ivy has always been popular, obviously dating back, George Clooney, going backwards. I love Poison Ivy. I think she's interesting, and obviously her popularity has gotten massively popular and expanded, really due to Harley Quinn. I think is a good way to put it, because Harley Quinn is DC's like #1 bestseller, and Harley and Ivy are, I guess, teammates, potentially in a relationship, partners in crime. I don't even know anymore. I just enjoy reading it, and I think it's funny. And then they were in the TV show. And so what is that like, though? Because, again, it goes back to sort of the Blade thing, too, is that you're now portraying a character that is popular, is fun, is well recognized, and people have good memories of this character, if that makes any sense. And it changes, without a doubt, when you're cosplaying a character that is extremely popular versus a character nobody knows.
Well, in that particular one, I was going after the whole Batman Forever version of Poison Ivy, but I wanted something different. So that particular cosplay gets me a lot of attention. Oh my God, it looks so pretty. Don't touch. You'll be fine. Just don't touch it. Because I've had people ask me, did you actually sew on every leaf? Yes, I did. How did you not get Poison Ivy from that? Because they're not real leaves. I've had several people ask me. I wish this was not even a question, but they were asking me, how did you get an ointment or something for? No, they're not real leaves. They're not real. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. But that dress took me 6 months to make because I took apart a Tinkerbell dress to make it into a Poison Ivy dress.
I could imagine you're not the first Poison Ivy that's been on this show, and yeah, a lot of them have done that. And
Oh,
again,
what about the ones that confuse me with Gamora? The Poison Ivy where my face is painted green and I had the yellow under my that everybody thought no that's She-Hulk.
I wanted to just
Yeah.
let's be on a different
That
level.
was She-Hulk. But no, where I'm
The
painted
joke was
green.
too good. The joke was too good. I'm sorry.
But no, my face was painted green. I had the red hair, I had the yellow under the eyes. Everybody thought I was Gamora. And I had my friend with me, my good friend Ryan with me. He was dressed as Harley. A gentleman as Harley. And everybody thought I was Gamora. I'm like, no, I'm not Gamora. I'm Poison Ivy from the HBO cartoon. Because I had the leather jacket and the white shirt and red hair.
Let's actually talk about that, because this is one of the things that is actually really interesting right now in pop culture. I'm curious your take on it. Is that I'm a comic book fan. I buy and sell comics. I read comics. I collect comics. And so I know the culture. But I also know there's a bunch of people who don't know the culture. And they haven't been in a comic store. They don't buy comics. They don't order comics. They don't know what a bag and board is. And then they see it, and they're maybe, it's late o'clock and it's 11 o'clock. They turn on HBO or they're an app and they're watching Harley and Poison Ivy, but then they also have Disney Plus and they don't know the characters and they just automatically, these characters look the same. And so what is that like for you as a cosplayer? Because I would imagine that you get a mixture of both, just walking around a con and people are like, oh, you're this character, you're that character. And potentially at some point, somebody's going to call you She-Hulk when you're Poison Ivy or whoever else.
That actually happened to me.
It's weird, right? Like because it's automatically. Yeah. I don't want to say something mean, but your brain automatically associates with X.
So, I was a guest at Nashville Comic Con. I love them to death, by the way. This, and I went dressed as the HBO version of Poison Ivy. I had the leather jacket. My face was green. My shirt was white. Red hair. I even had leaves on my shoes, and I was carrying around a leaf purse. Everybody in that convention thought I was Gamora. Oh my God, your Gamora looks great. I'm not Gamora. I'm her Ivy, because my friend Remy, she was dressed as Harley Quinn. I am her Ivy. Ivy, Poison Ivy, leaf bag, leaf shoes. Oh, I thought you were Gamora because Gamora wasn't. No, Gamora has darker red hair. Poison Ivy has bright red hair. There's a difference. Oh. Everybody thought it was very, very frustrating because the cosplay guests, we all got together. We're like, okay, we're gonna do coordinating outfits. So first day was villains. Second day was going to be Disney. We all picked a villain. We were all villains that day, or villains, or no, we were all Marvel that day. No, it wasn't Marvel. I think it was just heroes and villains is what we did. And then, and then the next day it was Disney. But you have Peggy Carter, Captain America, Ginger Snap. She looked amazing. Then you have Harley Quinn, my friend Remy, looked amazing. Then you have Bucky Barnes, my friend Aaron, looked amazing. And then me, Poison Ivy. Everybody thought I was Gamora. They knew I was Poison Ivy. My friends knew I was Poison Ivy. Everybody thought I was Gamora.
Yeah, I can imagine it's frustrating.
Very, very. And I remember, I think I was going through pictures and somebody had gotten a picture of me. Look at this awesome Gamora. I had to correct them. Hey, the Gamora in question, that's not Gamora, that's Poison Ivy. Oh, the entire con. Now the next day out was Shigo. Everybody knows who Shigo is, but yeah,
That's from Jake Long, the American Dragon, right?
yes, you nailed it. You got it just right on the head there. Good job. Good job.
I prefer to be like Ron Stoppable, you know, with the jokes.
You did an awesome job, actually. You make a good Ron. You make a good Ron.
Oh, absolutely. Will Friedle is just a beast. He's just a beast.
Yes.
Such a nice human being too. It's crazy. My favorite
Hopefully, I will get to meet him this year. So here's hoping.
I got a great story with him. It's a crazy story. I was on crutches and I was at AwesomeCon, and I was speaking with Dan Jurgens the night before at the Library of Congress because he was giving a lecture with one of my former professors, Paul Levis, who ran at DC Comics. And then I said, hey, maybe you could do a little bat stinger on my book. So I was going to get it signed and graded. So I woke up and now I'm waiting for CGC. They're like 40 minutes late, just waiting with him. And then he signs and he just starts sketching this gigantic Batman thing. And then it's Batman Beyond that he was sketching it on. And Will Friedle was signed, who's Eric Matthews. And he voiced Terry McGinnis. And Dan's handler said, wait right here. And so now he brings me back with Will Friedle. Will Friedle signs Will Friedle. He says, I am Batman on it. CGC witnesses it. It's sketched. It's a brilliant book. It's in my collection. It's one of my favorite books because the book isn't necessarily worth much money. And I'm sure that if I wanted to sell it, I wouldn't have a problem. It's more along the lines of the memory of it. And it's encapsulated. And it's the story I tell all the time because there's good people in comics still. And it's an amazing story because it's just that I said, I don't want to push my luck. I'm perfectly happy with what I got. And I know when to stop. Because if you're walking around on crutches and I'm exhausted, I don't push my luck when I know I already won. And I just stop because if I already got what I wanted and then some, you know, I stop because I'd rather have something than nothing. And it's a crazy story, but he's such a nice guy. Such a nice guy.
That's like my whole Dr. Facilier Pop that I got signed by Keith David. Same scenario, only I wasn't on crutches like you were. I was a guest at Knoxville Fanboy Expo, and he was there as a guest. So I found the last Dr. Facilier Pop and I had him sign it. So there's a whole story with Keith David and my experiences that was brilliant, pleasant. That's one of the best human beings on this planet. We must protect him at all costs. Just saying.
I got no problem admitting that I would love Will Friedle for an interview. I got no problem admitting it. It'd be brilliant.
I was supposed to meet him last year, but he canceled last minute for Nashville Comic Con, so he'll be there this year for that, and I can't wait for that because Jason Marsden's going to be there, which he's a gem. I love him to death. And Bill Farmer, good voice of Goofy, is going to be there. So it's going to be great. It's
crazy. I don't have any of these experiences. All I get to do is talk to voice actors, and I'm like, hey, come on my show, and it's awesome.
Listen, being a cosplayer and getting these experiences, that's one joy of being a cosplayer. You get experiences nobody else gets to experience. So I am very, very lucky.
It's interesting you bring that up because as somebody, I just ask and I keep asking and I will ask 10,000 people. And statistically, if you ask 10,000 people and you don't come off like an asshole, you will get positive responses. And also, if somebody doesn't answer your email, guess what? You ask them again in 6 months and you ask them again in another 6 months. And you notice at some point, they're going to be like, God damn, this motherfucker, he won't leave me alone until I say yes. And then I interview them and they're like, man, you're a good interviewer. Man, you actually did your homework. And they're like, oh, cool. And then all of a sudden you interview the right person and it opens up another door. And believe me, a lot of people love talking about themselves and they're happy to do it. So there you go. And what you hope is that, unfortunately, sometimes, people are older and they're getting older, and you just don't get to them in time. And then I've had that happen to me, and it sucks. That's the only negative part of asking, is that
Yeah.
sometimes Father Time defeats us all. But
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
the only sad part of this. But I do like to make shocking revelations.
Ah, I see what you did there. That's nice. I see what you did there. That see, this is why we're friends. This is awesome. So I put a shock to your system. Is that what it is?
I really did like this show. I really did like this show. And Wilfredo was in this show too.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly
It
enough.
was.
I don't know. I mean, was it who played Static in that show? I know who famous voice actor, right?
Okay, I know Jason Marsden was his best friend.
What was it, Jason Marsden, or was it
It was
Wilfredo?
Jason Marsden. Yeah,
Wow, I thought it
it
was
was
Wilfredo.
Phil Lamar and Jason Marsden. Yep, that's who it was.
Yes, it was Phil Lamar. That's who I was thinking of. Just
Mm-hmm.
names slipped my mind. I mean, Phil Lamar played John Stewart in Justice League 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
I should have known that. Like it was legitimately slipping my head. But yeah, no, it's brilliant. But yeah, I love Static.
That cosplay was I wanted, that was one of the first ones I wanted to
It's
do.
another good shot.
That's an updated version of that. My good friend, who is another cosplayer, Swaggy cosplayer, he does a lot of Static cosplays, and his are amazing. He gave me the mask and 2 of the jackets, so I can change them out if I want to. And then I had a friend of mine make the shirt, and I made the wig myself and the headpiece too. And that's one of my favorites. It's hot, but that's one of my favorite cosplays.
I love Static. I think Static is great. I remember picking up a Static Pop Funko. It's awesome. And I
Mm-hmm.
love Static on the Teen Titans though more than anything else.
That's the only Funko Pop I don't have is one of Static. I need one of Static. The only one I don't have.
It's a Hot Topic exclusive, guys.
Oh,
It's great.
I know.
It's not even that expensive. It's not expensive.
It's not expensive, no. But I just, I haven't had the chance to go and actually pick one up, or order one. So,
It's called eBay. I mean, there's no excuse anymore.
I know that. The only excuse I have is no money. Because, cosplayers be broke occasionally, depending on the cosplayer. I'm one of those cosplayers.
It's crazy. And then obviously there's a bunch of others, and I'm a huge Teen Titans fan. In case anybody didn't know that, and I like Starfire. I have a DC Presents number 26, guys, in a high grade. So I'm just saying it's a personal book, and I love the Teen Titans.
That's one of my favorite pictures I did, and that was like a last minute thing too. I hadn't planned on doing Starfire, but I think I got it for my birthday, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just make this a little bit more comfortable for me. So I added the orange bodysuit underneath it, and it looks great. I love it.
And
I need to wear it again.
Starfire. I can't say anything else about Starfire. The fact that I love Starfire, where I loved her in Red Hood and the Outlaws. It's arguably one of the hottest scenes in comics ever. Is her coming out of the water with her hair just flicking. It's great.
Yeah.
And then Amanda Connors and Jimmy, I can't say his last name, did a 12 miniseries run on her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Perfect. Ditzy blonde redhead Starfire having a blast, like in Miami essentially, or like the Key Wests in Florida. Oh, brilliant in so many ways.
I've actually got to do. I have just like a casual version of Starfire with the NASA shirt. I just have to put it all together, and I haven't done that yet. I don't know why I haven't. I guess I just forgot I have it.
And just brilliant, and I love Starfire, and
I also want to do Blackfire too when I get the chance. So Blackfire's on the list too.
And Starfire has a Pop Funko as well, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
And so I don't have. It's fine. I'll get them eventually.
But yeah, no, and obviously, I mean, it is what it is. And then I do want to talk about the Silver Rain. It's this little company, guys. I don't know if you heard about it. They do comic books. They actually care about story. It's this new concept where a comic company wants to tell you a good story. But yeah, and they do Cypher Team Temple High, Amago. I always get the name wrong, and he kills me.
Ayamo Stigmata.
Yes, it's about a Tuskegee airman who winds
Mm-hmm.
up going into like a portal, and then he
Yes.
becomes like part of like an alien bounty hunter team. It's a fun book. It's a fun book.
Every book of Ayamo Stigmata 2 comes with a therapy note. There's a reason for that. If you know, you know. It's all we actually had somebody come up with a therapy note that we're supposed to put inside every issue of Ayamo Stigmata issue 2. There's a reason for that. If you know, you know. It's just a little bit of humor, but still.
And then
the amount of reactions we get.
And then obviously there's Stars, and then I don't know, I don't think he's in that. And then there's the other one I always forget too. It's the Mecha one.
The Arisha Exos.
Yeah, I don't know. I know really the three, the three, Temple High, Cypher Team, and Stars, the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, what so obviously Stars is kind of battle the bands with powers and learning how to use their powers, and also learning how to be superheroes. It's a really, really, really interesting book, in a lot of ways. And I know that it was kickstarted, and then obviously Tira's left Kickstarter, for a lot of reasons. And me and him have spoken extensively about that for like 40 minutes. So if you want that full scoop, guys, you could watch that interview with me and Tier. One of the five interviews I did with him. And there's going to be a sixth one soon anyhow. I don't know when, though. I don't know what he has going on. So I have to hit him up. But anyhow, what it was that like, because you were on a comic cover as the character.
Yeah, as Siphon, I am Canon Siphon. How y'all doing? That I never thought anything like that would ever actually happen to me. I'm very, very honored that he sought me out and chose me. But I got to pick my own character. So I got to pick the character that I wanted to represent. And I went through Arisha Exos was still a comic at the time. So I wasn't really into Max. Temple High was not a thing yet. And Stars really stood out to me because I got the whole Cheetah Girls, Jim and holograms, that kind of a vibe. Josie and the Pussycats vibe from it. And I'm like, let me just do this one because I like this one. And then I went through the characters and I'm like, wait a minute. Siphon. Why does she look like me? Siphon looks a lot like me. And I got to read her backstory and everything else. And we are similar in some aspects. I'm like, you know what? Let me just stick with Siphon. And I've been with that ever since. And I love that character. I've got like 4 different versions of her now. And when she gets a new suit, whenever that will be, that'll be another version of her.
Yeah, let's talk about this, because obviously, I mean, one of the big things is that there's been, Marvel did a whole run with cosplay covers back a few years ago with their characters. And then there's just been always, some version of that with different companies. Zenescope's done something. Obviously, Brian Polito's done stuff with Lady Death. And then there's been a few others that have done things too. But the indie market really has captured onto this. And obviously some cosplayers are very exclusive, some are not. I know a few who do business with A, B, C, and D company all at the same time. And what is that like? Because when you have a cosplayer working on your book, it's very cool. And, it brings it to life. It makes it, I guess, more real, if that makes, sense to some degree, where obviously these characters are in a comic book, but when you have a person cosplaying, it's like, oh, cool, that's what it would look like in real life.
Mhm.
And for you, it becomes, a marketing point. It also allows you to, be able to somewhat distribute it and show, hey, look, I was on this cover, and exposure and a variety of other things. So what is that like? Because it is a game changer in a lot of ways for
It is.
both the company and for the cosplayer.
Well, because of me starting that, or because of him wanting to start adding cosplayers into the mix, his characters are becoming more and more alive every day. So right now, I can think of maybe 6 people off the top of my head who has cosplayed one of his characters and brought them to life. And just to see that and to say, hey, who is this character? Oh, they're from Temple High. Temple High. What's Temple High? Well, let me show you. And it just goes on and on and on. We experienced that at a KaiCon, and it was like the best feeling ever. Like, my best friend, SJ, who is also a part of Sovereign Comics, she's about to have her own comic coming out. She and I were, of course, Siphon and Tectonica from Stars at a KaiCon. And the number of people that wanted us to sign their comic while we were there dressed as those characters, it was an amazing feeling. It was an awesome feeling. It's something you can't get anywhere else. Like, you have the characters sign the comic for you. It's an experience like no other. And not only that, from a marketing aspect of it, you're not only marketing just the comic book company itself and the comic, you're marketing those cosplayers too. So, hey, what else have you done? Well, let me show you what else I've done. Do you have merch? Well, let me show you my merch. It's an ongoing cycle. And the more you do it, the more you get exposed to stuff like that. So, I mean, it goes hand in hand, I feel. And a lot of indie companies would benefit off of that as well.
Yeah, I think it's very much a symbiotic relationship. When I ran my Kickstarter, I worked with Jay Croft on my metal card, and I purposely wanted a male cosplayer, and I reached out to 10 of them, and only one of them responded for my metal card. And my arrangement with him was that it was a merch split; it wasn't a payment split, because I produced 120 metal cards. He got half, I got half. And he gets to sell them, and I get to sell mine, and it works both for us because I obviously have a business. I can absorb expenses. He's been to a few cons when he's selling them for $12. I could have paid him $200 and had all the metal cards for myself, or I could have given him 50 of them, and he's selling them for 12 a piece. All of a sudden, it's a lot more money for him. It's a lot more money for me, and everybody's happy. And guess what? What other cosplayer has a metal card? And it's my logo on the metal card too, which is awesome. So everybody wins. And so it's very much a symbiotic relationship, and it's a good relationship. And obviously I'm probably gonna work with DJ a lot more because he's now starting to get bigger. But I think that it's very important. I think that companies that understand it and utilize it and do it correctly are smart. And I also think companies that do it exclusively are smart. But I think it's really brilliant because I think it also is a game changer in a lot of ways too. And also,
definitely.
I think they were super limited, right?
No, actually, because you can actually buy the version of the comic where I'm on it. You can buy those through me. So
no, I thought he only printed so many of them, though. I thought he.
At first, we were only going to print so many, and then he's like, you know what? Why don't you sell these? Why don't you just sell them as a part of your merch? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So that's what I did. So anytime I need to refresh or get another order, I just go through him, and it's one big process.
He's ruining the exclusivity. Me and him are gonna have it.
Well, we thought about that. So with future titles, the exclusivity will still be there. It's just this was just like this is the first for him, a first for me too. So we're just going to keep that going because I mean it's merch for both me and him.
You did not speak to me and consult. Could have solved this problem for all of us.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. It's not your face.
I'm just messing around completely. No. I know this space so well, in which that exclusivity is king for collectors. That's why, but it's a whole different thing. I purposely fucking around for a reason.
I got you. I got you.
But anyway, and I do want to briefly talk about this because we mentioned it like every 10 minutes. So I know the least about this one out of all the stuff you spoke about. This is the least I know about. I love Disney, but I am not in line with Disney. The last era of Disney I remember was Kim Possible, Jake Long, the American Dragon, Lilo and Stitch,
my baby,
ABJ on Disney Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am guilty. I will admit that Disney Kids is awesome. It awesome.
Is. I mean, who doesn't love Bear in the Big Blue House?
Oh my God, it's so
out of
good.
The box. Wait, Out of the Box is PBS.
Out of the Box was PBS?
Was it?
Or no. Bear in the Big Blue House was Disney. No. Bear in the
Big Blue House. I'm thinking of Out of the Box. Out of the Box was PBS, I think.
Out of the Box? I thought Out of the Box was the one where they climb into like the cool treehouse and they do activities, right?
Yeah.
That was Disney. That was absolutely Disney.
I'm getting my shows mixed up. I'm old, okay?
So let me explain. The only reason why I know this is that I grew up, right? So I grew up and we didn't have the Disney Channel in my house. But we go down to Florida and my grandmother was like 30 miles away from Disney World, right? Or Disneyland. I forget which one it was, but it's not important. So now Disney was like in Florida. So me and my sister would wake up and we're like, we're going to watch Disney today. Because we didn't have Disney. And it was like a treat. It was awesome. And then finally when I was 16, we got Disney in the house. So I got deprived of like all the good Disney stuff. So I had to go backwards as a 16-year-old to get my 5-year-old childhood back. It's terrible.
PB and J Otter, Roly
Yes,
Poly.
exactly. So good.
But that was Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog. He is one of my favorite villains. Of course, he is voiced by the miraculous Keith David. We love him. We appreciate him. We protect him at all costs. That cosplay is one of my top favorite cosplays that I have ever done. Period. Hands down. You ask me what some of my favorites are, that one will always be named. I put a lot of work into that one.
And what is that like? That's sort of modern Disney, I think is a fair way to put it. Where the Princess and the Frog is definitely more modern.
Mm-hmm, it is. But it takes like an old school approach to it, I guess you could say, with the setting of the whole movie. And it's great. Like, Keith David himself loved it. So that tells you everything right there. I have a different version of Dr. Facilier where I turned, I guess you could say her, in this particular case, into a witch. And I had a friend of mine make a whole witch hat that looks like Dr. Facilier's witch hat. And it just went on from there, made a whole outfit from that. But just bringing that to life just brings me so much joy. And he is one of my favorite villains ever. Just hands down, I love Dr. Facilier. He's so underrated. It makes me sad. But I don't know
anything about this. I'm gonna have to go watch it. I'm gonna go steal my sister's Disney
Princess
account.
and the Frog is very, very underrated. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I wish I could comment. Like I can't because I just don't know anything about this because it's like I haven't seen it and not because I'm anti-Disney, guys. I love Disney. It's just like it's on my to-do list. And I feel so like out of the loop. Like it's terrible.
It's fine. Once you see it, you'll understand. I mean, for different strokes for different folks. I get that. I understand that. But it's one of my favorites.
I mean, in my defense, I haven't really seen much of Marvel stuff on Disney either. I mean, if I'm to go and potentially use my vacation time, I'm gonna watch all of Kim Possible first. I mean, priority tier, guys. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Then it
the
goes.
first thing I watched on Disney Plus, I think, was Twitches. It was Twitches, and then Hocus Pocus, and then I went and watched everything else.
I haven't watched much Disney Plus. It's just you know, it is. I use my sister's account when I want to watch something, but I haven't watched much of the Marvel stuff. And I'll be really honest. I mean, I have so many options. It's just too many. I have Crunchyroll. I got IWTV for wrestling. I got Peacock. I mean, what is it? Like 10 days? WrestleMania? I mean, come on. I'm gonna be super busy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle.
It's a real crisis in my life. I mean, first world problems, right?
Yes,
I mean,
that.
it's just terrible, like, just terrible. And then there's all this free stuff on YouTube, like Mangus XLR, and it's like, how can I compete? Like I'm fucked, guys. Clearly, I mean. Think about this, right? Like you got to like create a flow chart, and then there's 15 options that I can make. It's just terrible,
Look,
and you can't lose.
Wait a minute. Now. It's not that serious. Now you can. It's not that. You don't need a flow chart. You don't need a flow chart, honey.
The fate of my night depends on this completely. See, you laugh. You laugh.
If you say so. Listen, okay, for me, then it's not that serious because I'm either in a Disney mood or I'm in an anime mood. One of the two.
But then it's okay. Let's walk through this, okay? So you're in a Disney mood, right? Then you go to Disney, cool. Then you have 15 choices. See, one choice leads to 15. You go to the anime. Then
here's the thing: if I'm in a Disney mood, I know specifically what I want to watch depending on my mood. So if I'm in a Disney mood, say I'm in a Disney mood right now, I go to Disney Plus. The first thing I'm watching is Hocus Pocus and then Hocus Pocus 2. Why? Because they're my favorite movies. And then after that, I'll go on down the line. You know what? I ain't seen Mary Poppins in a while. I'll go watch Mary Poppins. Stuff that I resonate with, that I grew up with, is what I'll watch first, and then I'll go see the new stuff.
I don't know. It affects my whole system. It's terrible. Like if I watch the wrong show before I do an interview, the interview is gonna fail. Like I'm not even joking.
Okay, that begs the. Let me ask you a question. What did you watch before you got in this interview?
Oh, nothing. I came right from another interview.
But you just said, and I'm just, you know what? I feel slightly offended, just slightly. Only slightly.
I watched him before that first interview before you.
Okay, all right.
I watched some Yu-Gi-Oh! Children's card games.
That's a good choice. That's a very good choice. Okay. I
didn't say what Yu-Gi-Oh! I watched. I just want to make that crystal clear.
Wait a minute. Wait, there's only one. I don't watch all the other Yu-Gi-Ohs. There's only one that I watch, and it's the original.
Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D.
No.
Card games on motorcycles. It's the future, guys.
No. Why?
Because the potential of danger is awesome. You have to figure out how to duel. Monsters are with you, riding along your motorcycle. You have to avoid traffic. You have to make sure that somebody doesn't pass you, and then you still have to duel them.
That's too much work for a card game.
And to be serious about this, you need to be at least 16 and be a good driver and a good duelist. Exactly. We're systematically eliminating the weak. I'm sorry. I am a very stringent ruler. This is serious business, guys. It's very serious. And I'm sorry. If you cannot learn how to drive a motorcycle and duel efficiently at the same time, then you cannot be in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D. I mean, I'm preparing for this. I'm 30 years old, and I feel like I am just getting ready for this task.
You know what? I'm going to let you have that one. There's only one Yu-Gi-Oh! For me, and that's the original. I can't deal with all the other ones. All the other ones are too much. I can't deal with those.
I couldn't deal. I mean, I did enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was awesome. Going to school to learn how to play a children's card game, that was cool. That was awesome.
No, no,
That
no,
was
no,
awesome.
no, no. Look. If it's not Yugi Moto, if it's not Joey Wheeler, if it's not my Valentine, I don't want any parts of it.
I'm sorry. There's one episode in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX where Chumley or Chummy, whatever his name is doing his father, and every 5 seconds his father flips a table. It's awesome. It's the greatest episode of anime ever.
Okay, call me a stickler for the originals, but I just if it's not, I gotta have.
I don't think you understand. I'm going to rephrase this. It's like a 2-part episode, and it's the funniest thing ever.
I may have to go search that just so I can enjoy the laughter, but that's just like for instance, I love Pokemon, right? I have not seen all of the other Pokemon series that there is out there. I haven't seen all of them. There's too many because they have one for every generation now. I've seen the original.
There's only 3. There's only 3 that are really good. I mean, the 3 that are really good, right? It's Indigo, Orange League, and Johto.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, the Orange League was pretty good. I mean, I have to say, the Orange League was pretty good. I mean, I consider those 3. I consider Hoenn or Hoenn or whatever it was to be good too. Like, I thought the original stuff was good. Like the first 6 seasons or so were pretty solid. And then after that, it wasn't bad. It was just like, I'm too old for this, but I'm still
repetitive. It is. I mean, because it's literally the same situation in every gen. And like I said, I love Pokemon. I love and good travels to Ash. It's about time, but good travels to Ash. But I get it. I understand. It is repetitive, but I love it. I don't know why, but I just love it.
Hey, I've been fortunate. I've been fortunate that I've had Megan Hollinshead on, who's Nurse Joy, and my Valentine's.
I love her. Oh, she's so sweet. I love
she's
that
great. She's great.
I got to meet her. I got to meet her in person, and she is just one of the sweetest women I have ever met in my life. I love her to death.
I got to interview her. That was fun.
She's so nice.
I got to interview Lisa Ortiz too. Lisa Ortiz doing Netflix stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I got to interview Veronica Taylor, original Ash Ketchum.
Mm-hmm.
Who else has been on my show? Steve Staley has been on my show. Dorothy Fawn's been on my show. Jeff Nimoy's been on my show. Debbie Derryberry, Jimmy Neutron, been on my show.
I'm pushing for Jason Marsden. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, if I ask,
that's Max Goof. You can't go wrong with Max Goof and Thackeray Banks. I'm not just saying that because I'm friends with him. I'm just saying he's a very good voice actor. I'm just.
Oh, who else is really good? Who else is really good? Eric Scott Kimmer's good.
Olivia Hack. Olivia Hack is a good one too.
Ty Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know my stuff. Jessie Flowers. Jessie Flowers been on twice. Tough. Very cool. Very cool. She's wicked smart. She went to Yale, which is way smarter than me. No idea how I pulled that off. I pulled her off though. I just asked her at the right time. I just asked her right when it was getting popular on Netflix.
Just put them on your little list and shoot them an email. I mean, it can't be. You never know what'll happen.
The worst thing that's ever going to happen to me is a no. It's the best advice I've ever heard. Is I've asked and I've gotten no's. That's it. No, one time somebody snapped at me. One time out of I think me sending out almost like 4,000 emails to date. That's less than like 1/10 of 1%, which is crazy. But I digress. I really feel that I should play Adventure Mode in Super Smash Melee and end on a 2 because this is what happens when you do that.
Luigi.
I mean that's how you get Luigi unlocked in Super Smash Melee. You're in adventure mode,
Get on
and you have
Luigi.
to end on a 2. So
Yeah,
you have a timer, and you have to end it on a 2. And if you end on a 2, then you get to fight Luigi and unlock him.
I never knew that though. So I didn't play Melee. I played the one that came out on the Wii.
Brawl.
Yeah, Brawl. That's the one I played.
There's also this photo, which is super cool.
Yeah, that video. I actually had a friend take that. That was the first time I ever debuted Luigi, and my friend was Waluigi, and we had matching tennis rackets, so we were the tennis versions of Luigi and Waluigi.
I don't ever want to play that game ever again. Never ever again. I was bad at it.
It was fun. It's fun.
Not the way I played with my friend. He was not happy. He was not happy. He was trying to like unlock like Toad and Toadette or something, or like, and he's like, "You're not hitting it." And I'm like, "I'm sorry."
That's the way you're supposed to go into it. You go into it like you're playing Mario Party. You go into it just competitive with friends, but you have fun with it.
So me and my friends play Mario Party a very different way than normal people play Mario Party. We play Mario Party where you have to finish your beer before somebody gets a star.
Yeah, I never play. I don't drink alcohol, so I've never played that. I've just felt a lot of betrayal, and a lot of heartbreak.
It makes it great. It makes it great. We do not play any drink game with Double Dash and Mario Kart. On Rainbow
Why
Road,
would you? That's
dangerous.
But that's a why would you?
On Rainbow Road, the rule is that if you fall off Rainbow Road, you have to take a sip. I don't think you understand how bad this is.
No. I understand fully. Why would you push yourself through that torture?
No, we don't do it. We don't do it. We made a rule with Double Dash. It's just no. We'll play Mario Party because Mario Party is fun.
Yes.
If you have to finish your beer before you get you can claim a star. That's fun.
Yeah.
Rainbow Road. No.
Don't make any bets on Rainbow Road. Don't
it's terrible.
do that.
It's just terrible. But anyway, how's Luigi gonna fare in that movie? Do you think he's gonna get a mansion?
They better do my boy right. That's all I'm saying. Luigi does not get enough love like he should. He gets overshadowed by Mario. And in my opinion, Luigi's best boy. That's Luigi's number one. That's
technically in Luigi's defense, though, he did get a mansion eventually on the GameCube when it came out.
It was a haunted mansion. Listen, Luigi is baby, okay? We know Luigi is baby. And poor man was scared out of his wits. Granted, he got a ghost puppy out of it, which is nice, but still. Which, by the way, I actually made a Poltergeist 3000. I made one. I had a little button on it that when you tap it, it's either red or green or blue. I had the whole thing.
I thoroughly enjoyed making a bunch of people into paintings. That was fun. I enjoyed that game. I was very sad about the fortune teller, though. That one made me cry.
Yeah. Why did it make you cry?
Because she was helping you, and then it was her time to go.
But you also had EGAD helping you. And he was the first one you had to release from a painting.
That is true. But he was still there at the end of the game. She was helping us, and then we had to suck her up and put her into a painting.
Well, I mean, it'd be unfair if she helped you throughout the rest of the game. And she's a fortune teller, for goodness sake. I'm pretty sure she saw it coming.
No, she knew it was her time, but it still made me sad. I was very upset about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's justified. I'm not going to sit there and grill you about it. I'm just questioning.
I got over it. It's all right.
I'm glad you got over it. I'm just questioning. That's all.
It took me like a good hour. The blackout was scarier. If we're gonna be really honest in that game, that was scary. I mean,
yeah.
also, if you really think about it, the mansion did look like the first mansion in Resident Evil. That also didn't help the blackout, but that's not the point.
You're right.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying. I'm a rational human being. Um,
They
uh,
did my boy wrong, but he got his own mansion, so it's fine.
it's okay. It was still
Mhm.
smaller than Mario's, but that's not the point here. But it was
Mm.
pretty good on a plumber's salary. So you got to take it as it comes.
This is
This
great.
is way too easy, and this is way too problematic for me.
This is great.
I just call it like I see it. What can I say? Um, I could say this is picking daisies, but again,
Of course, you would go. Listen, I couldn't be Luigi without being Daisy afterwards. Okay.
oh man, I would say Peach, but that they were going with Daisy today. So, what was this like though? Being Daisy for real though? All jokes aside,
I love being Daisy. I love being Daisy because not a lot of people do cosplay Daisy. And she's great and I love her energy and she is chaotic. People don't realize she's chaotic, but she is incredibly chaotic and I love it. And which is the perfect opposite to Luigi. I love it so much.
I don't know how those Mario brothers, Mario and Luigi, do it with Peach and Daisy. God bless them.
You got Peach who's always getting captured, so you don't really get to see much of her. And you got Daisy on the sidelines, probably judging why Peach keeps getting captured. So it goes hand in hand.
I'm just saying that Daisy never ever had to be in the situation where your princess is in another castle.
This is true. Daisy never got captured. Daisy was smart about it. When have you ever seen Daisy captured? They never capture Daisy. She is always in the sports games. She's in Mario Party. She's in Mario Kart. She does not have a whole "help me, I'm in another castle" by Bowser thing. But she's still a princess.
That is true. That is true. That is very, very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Peach could learn a thing or two from Daisy.
Probably not. Probably not.
So bad.
Some people just love that whole damsel in distress feeling. I feel like Peach is one of those women that loves the whole damsel in distress bit. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's just not.
Maybe she just wants to make Mario work for it. I don't know.
That could be another reason. I like that reasoning. That could be it. That could be it.
It could be a plot between. It could be an arrangement between her, Bowser, and Mario, and it's just some weird.
That was probably what it was to begin with. Some kind of a plot somewhere.
We should really what we should really do is get a guy named Jack Black to kind of sort this out. Too soon, guys. Too soon. I don't know. What is it? When is that movie coming out? Like April 12th?
It's it's before my birthday, so it's April the 5th, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, it's April the 5th. It's right before my birthday.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely not going to see it then. I actually have an interview. Fuck. Yeah, I'll see it that weekend then. That'll be fun. Yes. Because I did just buy a Mario G-Shock.
Maybe somebody will get invited to it. Maybe. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Because, I do cosplay Daisy. And I do cosplay Luigi. So we'll see. I have Mario. I just haven't done it yet. I'm missing a component.
I was happy to buy my G-Shock Mario watch. I was hoping to get a free G-Shock Mario watch because I'm a big G-Shock wearer. And anytime G-Shock wants to send me a cool watch, I'll happily wear it all day, every day.
G-Shock watches.
What did you say?
Those were the days of G-Shock watches.
Yo, they got some serious cool ones now.
I haven't seen them since
Oh, they got like the coolest anime stuff. They had a Pokemon one. They had a Dragon Ball Z watch that in the dark it looks like it's molten lava on like a face,
Ooh,
and
I'm
like
gonna
it's
have to
in 2022. It was like one of the hottest watches from G
I'm gonna
Shock.
need to go look at those because I used
They
to
had a
be into
kid.
watches. So
They had a Kid Cudi watch that goes for like 1,500 and new. Was like 150. It's a like all like they have like a gummy bear watch, like in the gummy bear style. It's awesome. They have a Sailor Moon watch. It's so cool.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go look because
They
you
had a
said the
Budweiser.
right words. You said Gummy Bear and Sailor Moon, so I have to go in.
They're not even that expensive. They're like 160. It's not that bad for a cool G-Shock watch.
Yeah,
And the Pokemon watch, which was super cool, which I should have
of
bought,
course, Pokemon.
was a girl watch. It was a baby G, but it came in a Pokeball. I should have bought it.
Oh, and see, I would have just bought it just because it came in a Pokeball.
They did a Gundam watch that came in a Haru. And the Char watch came in a red Zaku case.
They know their audience.
The DBZ watch is sick. That watch trades for like 320. I bought mine for 250. Well worth it. Oh, I'm not interested in selling it. Every time I wear that watch, people stop me now. And they're like, dude, what's that watch? Because they see it because it has Goku on it. It's an awesome watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Obviously, I want to talk about, I think, one more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is your original.
Ah, that's a new one. That's a new one. That's an original character. That is a dragon queen, Callista Dragos.
So what's the story behind that? Because I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's an original character,
Mm-hmm.
and so this is straight out of your imagination.
Yep.
And what is that creation process like? Because it's cool, I would imagine, to cosplay and take your take on Daisy or She-Hulk or Luigi, but that stuff is, already built.
Out of my noggin.
And now this is yours. And I don't know if they like it's a weird thing to say it that way, but you're creating something brand new and this is the first thing. And I don't think this is your first original thing that you've done, but
No.
it's still pretty cool when you create something
that
original.
one is a revamp of one I did years ago. There was someone I used to call a friend that wanted to do like a big collaboration kind of deal and needed a queen. I'm like, hey, I'll do it. No big deal. So I went home, put together the cosplay, did a couple of things, and then that was that. And then I never used the character again. And then I was going through all my characters. I'm like, I need to revamp that one. So I can't remember. I said I wanted to do a character the other night. And I got makeup done. I'm like, let me just grab a wig. And I grabbed the wig that I had. And I'm like, oh, this would be good for a dragon because it's big and floofy. So I went and got the dragon ears and the crown and an outfit that I used for Storm Loki. Recycling. And that was Callista Dragos.
No, it's super fascinating, and it looks cool. I mean, I like it. It looks cool. It looks fun. It's also very fitting right now because Dungeons and Dragons is coming out, and obviously, we're getting some serious. And this is old school. I might be dating me. I might be dating you. So I was going to apologize ahead of time, but Aragon is sort of getting repopular again, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly forgot about it until you mentioned it. And now that I
mean, Joss Stone was good in that movie, but I like that she loves. So I like her voice too.
Mm-hmm.
She sings "Son of a Preacher Man" very well. Is all I'm gonna say on that note. Very, very good cover by her. But she was good in that movie. But anyway. Dragons are getting popular again. They're fun. They've always been popular, but they're now like really cool. A lot of cool dragons have come and gone. Dragonair, Charizard, Sapphire, Smog. Good times. It's been a good run for dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, Smog has a tough job. You know, it's not easy to be Smog.
This is
But
true.
anyway, I have great sympathy for him. I mean, protecting all that gold must not have been an easy job for him.
I
Um,
mean, you never know.
you can't eat
We
the
can't
gold.
we can't forget the dragon from Shrek either. We got to
That
give
is
her
true.
love.
That is true. She's a good mother. So
She is. She is.
those flying donkey dragons. I mean, oh.
Yeah. Let's not talk about the flying donkey dragons. 'Cause that's a whole other concept.
Ogres are like onions. You mean they stink? Yes, I mean no, donkey.
Yeah.
I love Shrek. I love Shrek
I do
so
too.
many
Shrek
ways.
is awesome. I do have Fiona. I just haven't done it yet.
I love Fiona too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Shrek's a great movie. I can watch Shrek
Mhm.
all day. I was interested, and everybody knows this story, but I was tempted to buy the musical rights to Shrek and that soundtrack on musicalroyalty.com. And I probably could have found financing to do it. I was tempted to. It wasn't that expensive, all things considering. It's about like 1.1 mil to buy like essentially a 50% royalty for the next like 30 years on it. And I probably could have found financing if I wanted it.
You know what? More power to you, because I would have never thought about it.
I was tempted. I was genuinely thinking about it, and I decided to pass. And I have a feeling I'm going to regret that decision for a while.
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, that's just
It's Shrek. It's like the Christmas stuff was included in that, like some of the Universal stuff was included, like some of the ride stuff was included in it. I mean, it was
Oh, I thought. Oh, you meant all the rights. Oh,
like
well,
it would have been like a 50% royalty on every time it plays on television. You get a check. Oh, just I should have done it. Um, but
again, more power to you.
I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna regret it probably for a while. It's weird. It's weird. Opportunities come across my desk that should not come across my desk just because I'm in weird spaces. Just financially, and things come across my desk that are so weird. And people are like, "How does this happen?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
The universe is a strange thing.
Hey, I'm 30, and obviously I believe luck is preparation meets opportunity. That's what luck is. And it's a great saying, and it's by the great philosopher John Cena. The great philosopher John Cena. Luck is preparation meets opportunity.
That is not where I expected that to go, but I'm glad it went in that direction.
What did you think I was gonna say? What do you think I was gonna say?
Listen, I wasn't expecting John Cena to come out of your mouth. I was expecting an actual philosopher, not John Cena.
What do you mean? What do you mean? He's great. He's a 16-time WWE champion. Of course he's like.
Listen, I don't do the wrestling. I have two very good friends that do the wrestling. I don't do the wrestling. I know who John Cena is. I just did not expect the words philosopher John Cena to come out of your mouth. That's my point. That was my point.
Well, I mean, I missed a bunch of your cosplays. I'll say that, and I don't think I'm going to top myself in my philosopher John Cena. Me and him, we go way back. No, we do not. But he's a car guy. He's a big car guy. He's got a very, very nice car collection apparently. Very nice car collection. But he got in trouble for selling his GTO that was given to him. Just, and now he can't like get another one. They banned him from like buying. like an expensive GTO Mustang.
Oh, wow.
Because the arrangement is that you can't sell for like 3 or 4 years because it's a limited like run on them, and there's like 500 of them, and they make only 500 of them, and they're numbered, and he sold it for a good amount of money.
Oh,
And
okay.
so you get essentially the right to buy it, because they want to give it to celebrities to promote the brand essentially. And he
Mm.
sold it in like 6 months when it's a whole big thing. I don't know the full details, so I don't want to mischaracterize, but he got in a little bit of trouble for it. He shouldn't have done it. It was a beautiful car though. But
Yeah,
anyway,
well,
anyway, I do want to back out of some of your cosplays. I missed a hell of a lot of them. I don't think we even touched like we touched maybe like 30% at best. At best. We didn't get to any of
you
the
didn't even
anime.
touch the anime part.
Yeah, no, you've done Ash Ketchum, you've done Sailor Mars, you've done Ezra. You might have done a Squirtle Squad thing. I don't know. I think
I
you did,
did.
right?
I did. I
I
did.
went through your Instagram. I went through 1,300 posts, starting at the beginning all the way up.
Oh, you poor child. That's a
I,
lot. I have over 100 cosplays. That's wow. You did your research. I'm impressed. You did your research. But yes, I did do Squirtle.
again, opportunity is luck is opportunity meets preparation, or preparation meets opportunity. And then I am always prepared for every interview for a reason. I might not seem like it, but I am.
Yeah.
I take great pride, and that is directed at somebody, at actually 3 individuals, and I hope they see this. Um, but I digress right there. Because I do want to back out of your cosplays directly, and I am curious where you feel cosplay is going, because it has gone through a very interesting evolution. I actually think it has gone through a positive evolution where I think COVID was the great equalizer. I think COVID, in many ways, has been one of the best things for cosplay and pop culture. Where obviously, I wouldn't want COVID to happen if we could reverse it, but I think, it's been good for me because it's actually changed how work functions for me, which is nice, and I'm benefited because of it, and a lot of people have. But naturally, one remains the same. But I feel that it has been a great equalizer where a lot of the big names I felt not lost power, but lost some influence because everybody was at home, and the social media playing field was leveled, or it was more equal. I don't know if it sounds weird when you say more equal, but I guess there was more opportunity, is the way I want to say this. So I'm curious how you feel, because I don't think the big names have the same pull that they had 3 years ago.
They don't. They don't. Now, there are some that still do because they have their own brand. They literally have their own fabric. They have their own wardrobe supply. They have their own foam. They have their own calendar. They have their own everything.
I don't think, though, I'm going to challenge. I don't think they have the same power still, though, even if,
They
like,
do
I don't think.
not, only because people find out how, what's the word I want to use? How not so nice they were in person.
They
So
found out the real person behind it, right?
yes.
So there are people in the world, and correct me if I'm wrong, and tell me to shut the fuck up at any point, where I use Whoopi Goldberg as an example. Whoopi Goldberg is extremely charitable. Whoopi Goldberg doesn't tell anybody how charitable Whoopi Goldberg is, because Whoopi Goldberg doesn't give a fuck, because she doesn't want you to know that she's done A, B, C, D, and E. She doesn't care. She might tell you about her charity, but that's just one of 45 of them. Oprah, on the other hand, says, I've done 90 charities. That should give you an idea. That's sort of how I compare some of these cosplayers, to put it in a nice way. I don't know if that's a good way how to put it, where they're telling you how nice they are when in reality they're not.
I can see that a little bit, but in the cosplay community, I would say it's more along the lines of, "Oh, I've made more than you used to, therefore I'm better than you are."
Oh, so it's equating money to being successful.
Yeah, essentially.
and
But
clout.
there are some that have their own clothing line from cosplay, and they're one of the nicest people ever. And then you have others that have lines of, like I said, fabric and warbler and books and everything else, and
Hey,
they're
you
one of
can
the
name them.
worst
You
people on
can
the
name
planet.
them. You are free to name them if you want.
Oh, I know, but as much as
It's
I would
not
love to throw people under the bus,
it's not
I'm not
politically
thinking.
advantageous for you to name them.
Oh, I know. But as much as I want to
Oh,
throw people under the bus, I choose not to.
if you would
Only
like me to name
because
them, I'm more than happy to.
karma is a thing, and I know if I do it, it's gonna come back and bite me later on. So
That is true.
yeah, so by saying what I say, I feel people will know who the people who know.
It's not that
By
hard.
what I
It's not
said.
that hard to know who is a nice person in cosplay and who
Right,
isn't.
right.
I'll throw out a nice person. Sapphire Nova is a very nice lady.
I have never heard of that cosplayer, but I will gladly look them up though.
She does a lot of work with Brian Polito,
Mm-hmm.
and so she cosplays a lot of Lady Vesla for him. And she's a
Mm-hmm.
very, very nice individual. She does Heroes Unlimited. Very, very nice person. Autumn Ivy is very nice as well, and I like Autumn Ivy a lot. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then there's a few others. Like DJ Croft is one of the nicest human beings on the planet.
Oh, I love his work. I love his work.
He's a business partner of mine technically.
That's awesome. I love DJ.
He's on that metal card that I
Oh,
did.
yes, but the one you were talking about, got you. Like I said,
That's he's a good friend. He's a good
we
business partner.
we bow to DJ Croft. He's amazing. But another amazing person that I feel like doesn't really get enough credit is they go by Wreck-It Ronnie. Wreck-It Ronnie is one of the nicest individuals I think I have ever met in my life.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't know who
I
that
think
is.
she goes by It's Bunny Black now, but she did the first. I got introduced to her by a Katara cosplay that she did, and the photograph was just amazing. And I've been following her ever since. And I had a chance to meet her, and she's one of the nicest individuals I think I have ever met in my life. And like met face to face.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I don't even meet much cosplayers face to face anymore. I don't because I meet a lot of people over the internet, and it's awesome. And I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back to meeting people face to face. It's just so much easier over this way and doing Zooms and FaceTimes and StreamYards and whatnot. And that's why I'm at DJ. And I don't miss it. I don't miss cons. I don't. It's odd.
I mean, different strokes for different folks. I enjoy conventions a lot. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the atmosphere. Maybe it's the vibe that I get, but I love them.
I don't know. It's like, it's weird. I haven't been to a con in like 3.5 years, and I'll eventually come back, but I'm probably not going to come back for another year. For a lot of reasons, personal, other things going on. Also, I'm in a new job and I don't have much vacation time, so that's probably also why.
Yeah.
But also like, it's just, I'm also waiting to see how the entire economy goes because I don't want to start doing stuff and start planning stuff until I know if it's, I guess, stable is a good word to use. I'm very honest about it, where I want to make sure that things are healthy and that I'm not going to get fired from my job before I book a vacation. It's a real concern. So, but I think it's really interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, I just think it's fascinating what's happening with cosplay. I think it's interesting, and I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not a cosplayer. I just interview cosplayers and people who do it, and I'm like, cool. Where's this stuff going? Because obviously, I think it is gone through a very good transformation. I really do.
Well, I mean, it's making a lot of people happy for starters. Because people are seeing their favorite characters come to life, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can actually hug my favorite character." They may not be the actual character, but they can hug their favorite character, or they can have their kids take pictures with their favorite character, or things like that. They can bring smiles and, again, new experiences to different people. it'd be nice if there was a lot more representation in cosplay, which is getting better. But as far as that goes, I'm a part of that representation. So that's helping in that aspect.
Do you also feel, and this might get controversial, do you also feel that it would be nice if, cons potentially looked at, smaller cosplayers, for lack of a better word, and also sort of treated, I guess, cosplayers and maybe, balanced it out a little bit?
Yeah.
Is it a way to put it? And I'll throw something else out there too. Even, balance it out on a gender level a little bit. I mean, when you're at a con and they have 10 guest cosplayers there and they're all female, I mean, I think it would be kind of nice to have a male cosplayer in that
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah. And I know
And
several that would be amazing at it. And it's just like, because they're smaller, they don't ever get the attention that they require or they need, that I feel like they need anyway.
I mean, I made a recommendation to Awesome Con and it went nowhere, but I said, you have all these comic guests, you have all these cosplay guests, you have all these wrestlers. How hard would it be that there's been people who have been presenting here for 6 years at your con who have been panelists? How hard would it be for you to highlight them too? If you know somebody's been here doing 6, 7 panels every single year, maybe one year you want to highlight them and say, hey, look, this person's been here and they've done 21 panels. And it went nowhere. It went nowhere. And I was like, wait a second, like, and I made that suggestion to other cons, and they don't seem to be receptive to it. And I'm wondering if maybe COVID has changed that. I don't know, but I don't think cons are receptive to that idea, and I think it's a real problem because I think they're actually losing ideas and innovation. And this is why I really like what I'm doing here on this show. And I try to find male cosplayers. It's the hardest thing for me to find. I could find wrestlers, I could find voice actors, I could find, you know, um, comic writers, and top comic writers have been on this show. Male cosplayers are the hardest group for me to find.
I know several. I mean, they may be smaller, but I know several that are out there. The problem is they're not marketed enough because they're going to go towards the women first.
I reach out to male cosplayers all the time and I hear nothing on Instagram. I hear nothing. And I'm like, wait a second, like I'm not a huge show, but you're not getting any attention. And it's the most frustrating thing in the world for me. And then I reach out to a cosplayer who has 3 cosplays and he's great. And he's like, yeah, man, you want to interview me? Like, this is amazing. Like, and it's the weirdest thing where it's like he'd be like 200 followers and I don't care because if I think you have a good cosplay, it's not a follower issue. Follower issue comes secondary to quality of guest in my world. I've interviewed somebody who has 200,000 followers on Instagram. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. I treat it both the same. But it drives me crazy. It's my biggest pet peeve. It's my biggest pet peeve with
I don't see why that is. Maybe it's
it
some
my
people are
biggest pet
prideful
peeve
like
or
that.
them not showing up.
Who knows nowadays? Could be a
Yeah.
pride thing. Could be I don't know where this is going kind of thing. Could be I need to protect my. At this point, first off, I remember who you are. So I'm like, oh, I know this person. Of course, I'll do an interview with them. They're cool people. I know them. If I can only speak for myself, so I will do that. If I get the vibe from a person who wants to do an interview with me that they're just doing it for the clout, then I'm not going to do it. If they actually enjoy doing the interview process, then I will gladly do an interview. So there's
Funny.
2 different kinds of people.
I can't. Oh, man, there's an incident on Saturday that your answer is a perfect counter to what happened to me on Saturday. It's a perfect counter to it. But I
Okay.
can't dive into it too much publicly. But it's a perfect answer in so many ways. Sorry, there's like 15 things going on in my head, but I don't really know. I think it's crazy why when I reach out to male cosplayers, they just don't answer. But I digress. I'm not in their head, but every male cosplayer who comes on my show and says yes to it and we do an interview, I'm always thankful for them because they are the hardest group on my show to get. They are the
I
hardest
I don't,
group.
I don't, granted, like I said, I don't see how. I don't understand why.
I don't know why they don't want to come on my show, and I'm like, let's do it. And it's like weird. It's so weird. And then you notice, but I have to ask. So for me, and I'll be very honest, for me to ask a female cosplayer, I will shoot out, and if I shoot out 20 messages to a female cosplayer, I will get 3 of them to respond, if not more, on average, for an interview, and then we will book 3 interviews usually out of 20, which is pretty good. Sometimes I book 5 out of 20. With a male, I have to shoot 40. I get 2 at best. So it's double the work to get a male cosplayer.
That is wild.
On average, and it's mind blowing. I've reached out to a wrestler who has $200,000, and she fights for LLC. And within 10 minutes, she got back to me. She's like, "Yeah, let's do it. We want to do it." And so it's like it's mind boggling to me, but I don't know why, and I'm trying to figure it out because I want to solve the problem for myself. I don't care about anybody else in this circumstance. I want the problem solved for me. Because I want more male cosplayers on because I think they'll add more diversity to the show.
I'll shoot some your way. If I can remember, I will shoot some your way.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. But I digress. Obviously, we spoke about a lot of stuff. We got both you and me canceled, so don't worry about it.
I don't care.
But I do want to give you a chance to self-promote yourself. So where could people find you? Where could people follow you on Instagram? Where could people check out what you're doing? Do you have any con appearances coming up? All that fun stuff, and everything else that you want to promote.
Okay, well,
find me.
All my socials, anywhere. Just search for Mutant Glue, you will find me. I have a website, mutantglue.square.site. You can find the comics there. You can find prints there that I have for sale. I have shirts on Amazon. There's a whole Mutant Glue store for that. Definitely keep your eye out for Merch Sovereign Comics Mutant Glue stuff because it's definitely happening. It's definitely happening. So
and then I've said it, and I keep saying that you have to support indie creators, indie cosplayers in general. And the way you do that is you follow them on social media. You buy their merch. If they have Buy Me a Coffee, they got Cash App, they got prints, they got other merchandise. Obviously, the comics from Silverse and everything that is going on there. That's a way out of support as well. And it does make a difference. And you might not think it makes a difference, buying somebody's print for $10 or $15, but it does. Or even following them on social media and sharing out a post.
It does a lot.
You never know who's watching. I always tell this story. I had a guest on my show, a friend of mine, Sam Carter. And because he was on my show, a movie director actually discovered him / producer, and they're producing an indie film that has real money behind it. Under a pretty substantial budget for his comic called Final Boy. He owes me a beer. I'm gonna hold him to it too. It's gonna be funny. He said, "Hey man, how can I thank you?" I said, "Just buy me like a beer next time I see you at a con." He said, "Yeah, I'll do that." It was very funny because I don't need anything from him. I was happy to interview him and I'm happy to help him out. But again, you never know who's watching, and that's the thing. And you never know who's sharing. And one share can make a difference. Believe me, I'm sure it has for you, and it probably has for me, and we don't even know it. So
that's how Rosario Dawson knows I'm alive. That's how she knows I exist. It's because people sharing.
I'm sorry. Do I need to go to Clerks 2 again?
Don't listen. Look. Just continue with the rap.
I thought Clerks 2 was great. I thought it was great. I thought it was funny.
It was great. It was great. Yes, I agree.
Clerks 1 was better. It was way better. Clerks 1 was way better.
I need to
But
go back and watch Clerks 1, but I did enjoy Clerks 2. I'm not even gonna lie about that.
she was good in that. She was good in
Well,
that.
yeah, like I favor her a lot. So by sharing one picture of Persephone from Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, she saw it. She knows I exist.
That is good. That is good. That is
So
good.
you know, sharing does a lot.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is
That's all I'm
caring.
gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it does make a difference. And then as far as I'm concerned, I'll pop anime comics on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Definitely go follow me. I appreciate a follow. I have a goal. I would like to get to 510 YouTube subscribers. I'm at 503 by the end of the month. So I got 10 days to do it. I think it can be doable. There's no consequence if I don't make it, but I like to set goals and try to get there. I lost some subscribers and I regained new ones. So I'm very happy. We're 7 away. And the closer we get, obviously, I really, really want to get to that number. And I would like to get to 520 by the end of April. I think that's doable. So if you like what I do, you like what I interview, I do a lot of interviews, have a lot of conversations. I got 2 more tomorrow. And you never know what's going to come out on my channel. So definitely check that out. And if you're a Gundam fan, I have a Redbubble t-shirt that's making fun of Amuro Ray, where I don't always eat tacos, but when I do, I eat at Londo Bell. And he's holding a taco. And if you know anything about Gundam and Amuro Ray, he fights for Londo Bell, the Earth Federation. So it's a funny play on Taco Bell. And definitely a cool shirt. So get that in 16 different colors. So that's everything that I got that everybody can want. And yeah, that's everything I got. And your links are actually up in the description up above. So you can check that out as well. And on that note, I'm going to give you the final word.
Okay, I've got one more thing, and that is the Chameleon Coalition to have a group for cosplayers of all kinds to get together and network. So the Chameleon Coalition is definitely a thing. Watch out for us because we're growing, we're expanding. Also, chameleons, if you're watching this, make sure you're following this guy, because make sure you're following him. Just that's it.
Well, I don't think I could have said that any better myself, everybody. And that is a wrap.